Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and as you might already know, this is my build that I've been playing for a little while, and let me get the sound of this one. So this is some gameplay that you can see while I talk a little bit, and we have updated quite a lot of things with our spirit things, aura things, and we actually use Flicker Strike more now. Because why? We are using Bolt Protector, and we are also actually getting some power charges from our critical strikes. One thing that is a little bit annoying, of course, is on bosses. I can't really do my super combo that I want to do a lot of the times because I mess up or other things. There are also some defensive problems that I'm trying to solve really hard. Okay, I'm trying. Like I will get the camera off so you can see. I don't have a lot of life, but I have some energy shield also. And my goal eventually is to go like a hybrid energy shield, evasion, and some life and installation the energy shield and other things. We may see how that pan out. So let's see that this is version 3 of the build. I'm making this video because I want to ramble quite a bit about it before making the guide itself. Also because I want to recommend some things that I'm actually not doing right now, like playing with a neck that has levels on itself. Right now I'm playing with the egg neck that actually when I got it, it was really cheap. It was like some exalted, and when I was going to make the guide and I was writing things, I'm still writing it. I saw that it was like 3 or 4 divines, so I can't really recommend that neck anymore. Let's say, um, so that is one thing people might want to change. Now, after I let the clip run a little bit more, I'm going to talk about both in itself and what we have changed to get our charges and other things. You can see that I have plenty of charges, and I also get my charge stuff up with no issues. One thing that I also changed a little bit is I got quality on more of my skills, and I actually got one 5 link, I think, or 2 maybe. I don't remember that much. They are not super important, but of course, as you might expect, they do help doing things. Now, let's stop the clip right here, and now I'm going to show you 2 bosses once before I go into the gear in itself. Now, this is, as you can see, this is not crazy, it's tier something, but the boss has 35 maximum HP as ES. It is the tankiest mod that I found, even it is more tanky than the 70 something extra life. And this is the combo that I had in mind. Going into it with our Hand of Chayula, this applies Sniper's Mark and gives me some Frenzy charges. Then I go into Ice Strike until I can Bell. And then I do one whirl. I'm going to show it to you again because maybe it was too fast. We go Hand of Chayula, build to Bell, get the Bell, do a whirl. This also gets me Wither, and then Flicker Strike. If you go from 0 in a boss, you can use the charge staff doing 1 or 2 power charges just to get the power of the shockwave, because that is what is going to stack our electrocute. In short bosses, it doesn't matter that much. As you can see, they use insta die, but on bosses that are longer, like the Citadel ones or Arbiter, eventually you will get that electrocute. Now, let's go into this again. And now into the last clip. This is a little bit of Total boss. It also has 35% life as extra ES, as you can expect. The tankiest mob available that I have right now. I also have temporal chains, and this is a tier 13 if I don't remember badly. Same thing here. The game does a cool thing. I tried to use my bell, I couldn't, and then it popped it randomly in another place. Well, I just ignored it. I got some power charges. As you can see, I have 3. And this is actually enough to kill the boss from Half-Life. And as you can see, it is a high tier map because I actually got a tier 15. It's not the tankiest boss around as you might expect, but it's still one boss that you can kill. Now, of course, Citadel bosses may be a little bit different, but now let's go into the gearing aspect and skills and other things. So, my skills haven't changed much, apart from Into the Breach has leveled to level 19, at level 84 it is, yes. It will get to 20 at 90, nothing much changes, you just get to 122, it will go to 120. I'm told that you get quality somewhere when you ascend or something, I don't know. My Flicker Strike right now has combo finisher, close combat, and perpetual charge. Now, for the fourth one, I'm not POV is still not available, but I think that against armored mobs or mobs in general, getting some way to break the armor is important. And we do a lot of hits and we hit really hard, so that is good. Other things that you can use is Rage Forge. It's very strong. Or if you want to have Flicker Strike something like a super finisher for bosses, you can use Hourglass and Exile. And it will have a huge cooldown but do huge deals of damage. And in my case, if I use Exile, I get 100% crit. But I'm using it on my Whirling Assault to get my crit cap and get power charges that way. Now I'm going to go from up down, as you might already know, into the bridge with all of the aura things that we can socket into it, because right now I think it's a feature just to make available the Into the Darkness series of nodes. They may be buffed or do something with them because they are super useless. I still don't have my 4th ascendancy. I have tried Santum and Ultimatum once, and I died. Just ignore that, of course. Then we go into Flicker Strike, as you can already see. Those Wind Dancer is welcome addition to our arsenal. Now I have 58 evasion when I have my first attacks, and then when I roll, I have some extra. And also when I expend a charge, I get also 60% extra evasion. That gives me like 7% or 5 or something like that. And when it procs, we blind and maim. This helps our accuracy a lot against evasive enemies, because they, let's say, the real 100% hit chance is a little bit hidden. So they have 40% reduced evasion. As you might already know, blind gives them less accuracy rating and also evasion. Same with maim, less move speed and also less evasion. Wind Dancer actually hits quite hard. You can see it's not crazy, but it can crit, and sometimes I get quite surprised because has 60% crit for some reason, has extra critical chance, and it pops mobs quite hard sometimes. Now, as for Mantra of Destruction, nothing has changed. Premeditation, Murderous Intent, and Chaos Mastery. Right now it does 39% of our attack as extra chaos. You want to use this, of course, with Flicker Strike, or if you don't want to use Flicker Strike, you use it with the Bell, and it does quite a lot of damage. Charge Staff with 20% quality. I'm also working on getting quality, as you might already expect, on my Flicker Strike. Wind Dancer, Mantle of Destruction is not that important. Tempest Bell, I'm getting there, just from the ones they drop. This has 20% increased duration, nothing crazy. And the Shockwave, it's almost at 100% effectiveness of the power. It has concentrated effect for more damage, or area damage. Lightning Infusion, it does extra damage as lightning. I care a lot about lightning damage on this skill because this is the only way that I have to electrocute. So it's going to go like this. It's nothing crazy, but we do a lot of hits. They did nerf electrocute build up, but because they buffed the skill into 40% less to nothing less, it helps me quite a bit. Even on some longer bosses, I may be able to electrocute them. Tempest Bell has Rage, Potential, making us spend 1 power charge to crit cap it. Right now, as you can see, it has 45, but when we expend a power charge with Charge Infusion, it gets to 50 something, and then the 30% mob crit caps it, making it does a lot of damage. But Bell right now for me is not the main damage ability, although it does a lot of damage. I expect it to get nerfed. I also use Font of Rage, making it when I pull a Bell, like you saw in my fight with the big guy. I get some rage generation and I don't lose my rage even if I don't attack a little bit, so I can move around the bell and not lose my rage if I don't attack. Or the mechanics of the bell make it so if you apply elemental ailments into the bell, it will do shockwaves with those. You can see this 3% more damage, and then it also converts the physical damage. Eventually, the goal is to, in one of the rings or in the gloves, get some fire damage. Right now, I've not been able. Everything's super expensive. This is the neck that I talked a little bit. That I thought it was quite cheap, but then it shot up in price, and I can't really recommend it. I just had this when it was cheaper. You can use +3 neck or something like that. Can also use, like, my old neck was this one, you might remember. Right now, more than ever, critical strike chance in helmet and neck help a lot. Now, Ice Strike, there are a lot of builds that use Ice Strike as a mage damage deal. I am not. I'm using it to build combos for my Tempest Belt, get power charges, and to get my Flicker Strike up. You may disagree or may not agree. It does help on clearing and everything, but it is not my main thing. Now, of course, it has inspiration to not tap me on mana. As you can see, have +8 from global modifiers, making this quite expensive. If I had the neck I wanted, it would be +11, so even more mana. Martial Tempo, more attack speed. Crescendo, making me able to use the finisher attack twice. The finisher attack is the strongest part of this. Has less attack speed, but it's 606%. And then if it crits, it's even more. It has quality, so it has 10% more attack speed. And it also gets the 10% more skill speed when I expend a frenzy charge. I didn't expend that much, but I'm using bolts and also charge infusion and sniper's mark, getting frenzies and power charges to get that 17% more critical hit chance and 10% more skill speed. Eventually, I will also explain how I will get endurance charges, but that will be for the version 4 of the build, that it's even more pricier. And then I will feel actually comfortable about explaining to people. And then Ice Bite, when I freeze, I get that extra damage as cold. This also helps a little bit on clearing, because if you have used Frozen target and you use the Flicker will also get that 35% extra cold, and then it will get amplified from Mantra of Destruction, getting 39 of that 35, kind of a thing that goes after another. And remember, of course, you can also proc sometimes Reality Rending, and if you have some flames from Chayula, that you already know, they are 14% damage of extra chaos. You also get some recurring thing. That is why I have Withering Touch, Overpower, and Exist on my Will Assault. It is not a main damage ability, it is just to apply this debuff and to build some stun. Because my idea is to get Ice Strike to freeze the mob with the bell, Whirling Assault to get the stun a little bit up. Then when it's frozen and we proc Ice Bite, we use the Flicker Strike. That was what I tried to do on the big guy, but as you know, my belt missed its place, so I was not able to do that. But Combat Frenzy, when we freeze, electrocute, or pin, we get a Frenzy Charge. This got massively buffed. It was like 5 seconds or something. Now it's 1.8. It goes down, of course, with more levels. I have Profusion on it, making it go even better. Now, for Hand of Chayula, I have it applying a Sniper's Mark, but to be honest, you can just put a Sniper's Mark alone. I just like Hand of Chayula because it's kind of like a charge. And I have a Sniper's Mark, Ingenuity, and as you might already know, marks are not curses, so they don't get affected by the curse effect or something like that. They also don't have any element, this one in particular, so you can really do a +1 of them, but nothing crazy. 68% critical damage bonus on the thing. I didn't do that on the videos and clips, but you can use it quite often. Of course, you may want to, instead of using the half dot chayula, just use it normally, because it's like that way you can actually see the cooldown. 1.54 right now, and it's only 60 mana instead of the 100 and something that is Hand of Chayula. And then the last one is Inevitable Critical, just to get a full crit. This makes me most of the time pop my own frenzy, and that way I begin the boss with 2 charges because I have Serpent's Egg, but you can begin it with 1 charge. And then before Charge Infusion procs, you can get 2 charges, and then these procs, and you get more skill speed, and you still have that charge. You can just keep applying it every 1 point something seconds. You could have custom crit, but right now, remember, we don't run the extra spirit, so we only have 100 spirit. Now for my gear, I have a really strong staff right now, but it was not what I was using most of the time that I was doing the videos and things. I was using this one. It doesn't have extra skills, it doesn't have a lot of physical damage, but it has critical strike and attack speed. That is the main things that you would want. Also has some elemental damage with attacks. Our main finishers are physical, but it's never bad to have some extra damage with attacks. Of course, if instead of that I got a tyrannical, I would be so much happier. And then this was the stuff that I was also using for Flicker and for other things. It has extra melee skills, some still build up, and physical damage. This is like 500 DPS. Nothing crazy either, but maybe sometime someone will buy it. This one of course is really strong. Don't expect to get this one something like this quite cheap. I got lucky, and I bought it when the divines were still not super crazy thing right now. I don't know. Price fixers do the thing. I'm using 1 on set for the Sniper's Mark thingy. You could use 2 to get instead of the Hand of Chayula to get Shattering Palm. I think it's a really cool ability and helps a lot on clear. +2 on gloves. Nothing crazy, some resistances. Try to get evasion on this. Belt does have 2 charm slots. They didn't exist, let's say on belts back then. Try to get one with the extra charm slots and some resistances. Life and maybe evasion if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible. Balls Protector. I corrupted some of them to try and get the 30% extra power charge. I'm also going to do a video about the corruption thingies, but it's actually quite a low chance to get the change of mods on Unix. So if it's not super pricey, I recommend you to just buy it. I have triple resists on it, just to help me cap everything. Do not have problems when I'm using this neck. My helmet, I haven't changed it for a while. I got this for 1 exalted. Ideally, you want to use an energy shield helmet. Around 300 to 400 should be really good. This will make you have a lot of evasion. And now that is the build itself. You saw the gameplay, you saw the bossing, you saw me playing it. Now my comments on it, I'm enjoying it a lot. There's of course the issue that it is live based, so you won't survive most of the slams or crazy mods that can happen. You're also susceptible to chaos damage, but until I get some Mana Leech and my fourth ascendancy, and when I get my fourth ascendancy with this 40% chaos, I'm going to cap 80. Chaos resistance is going to be quite strong against chaos. I will also kind of cap my evasion thanks to subterfuge masks and better rolls on my gloves. I may drop the power threads. It's not nothing crazy, but there are a lot of strong mods on boots, and I also want to get some evasion. Same thing as with the bolt protector, you can get some with 10 to critical bonus per power charge. That is 16 extra critical bonus, apart from the extra power from having one more power charge. That is kind of cool. That way you get a lot of damage. And that is the build itself. My charm, as you might expect, is the stun charm. I would love to have the freeze and the chaos charm until I cap. My bots are nothing crazy, just some extra. I didn't even use quality items on them. Not really needed. And that is the build. That is everything. I will make another video explaining the guide itself, or maybe depending, I think I explained it quite well, I may just post the mobalytics guide inside this main video, depends on how busy I am these 1 or 2 days. And I hope you had a nice day, and I'm going to say a little bit of the fourth version. We may be using some cool gloves about those ones, and actual real chest. So I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Bye bye.